Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Emerald Coast. We are in our last day of autumn, and it is going to be a busy one. Caught me here making a quick milk run this morning. Already fed all of our cattle, everything, and both of the brother Darrells are already out doing the field work. Got one brother Darrell out here cultivating up the cotton fields. He's working right here. And then the other brother Darrell is down by the cow farm over there. Down by the cow farm, putting barley in. And we're going to work on oats today. Well, once we get this milk sold off. Got a few quick errands to run, and then we're going to start getting to work on the oat field down by the pig farm. Field 16, I believe it is. And we have made a purchase. In fact, there she is right there. Got ourselves a new feeder. We're going to be trading in the old John Deere feeder for that one. Obviously, it has a much larger seed capacity, fertilizer capacity, and a bigger working width, which will be very, very helpful now that we have expanded our fields quite a bit. Always a risk coming through town here that you're going to get behind traffic. And I tell you, these white sands, folks, they could really do on rearranging their setup here. Really set up for folks to come in a straight truck opposed to a semi. Really can't see where you're going. Let's keep that running. Run in here to the office and figure out how much milk we're bringing in. All right, that was a cool payday for sure. 23 grand, a load of milk. That'll definitely keep food on the table. Do we brave the shortcut? Risk getting in the mud? Well, not in this truck. Truck does not do well in the mud. We're going to go ahead and take the long way back and be right back with you. Alright, so the next errand we need to run is we've actually got a fair bit of eggs we need to take down to the southern buffet. Storing them in our chill house over here. We have 11 boxes. Carol's wife went ahead and stacked these up for us. Ratcheted them down. Because we're going to do... But we're going to kind of Hit two birds with one stone on our trip to town. This trip to town, we've already had one trip. That is, we are going to put some more seed in our seed hopper here. So we will have plenty of seed. For all of our goings on today. We'll go this way, and that way we'll be able to see how far Daryl's made his way. It is still muddy through here. Muddy, muddy, muddy. Seems to be on pretty darn good there. Great Plains. Almost got that field hammered out. And he's got the big field there beside it, and then the big field beyond it. So basically, all the way over the GSI bin is what he's got to do today. Still have the anhydrous. Still need to work on these cornfields down here. We don't need to return the tank and the equipment for a little while now. Gonna duck in here real fast. About dropping these eggs off. Let me get these eggs unloaded and back with you once again. That wasn't a bad little payday. See about getting some seed here in our seed hopper. Then we'll finally be able to get back here. Third trip into town. It's like, oh my gosh, the day's a quarter of the way over before we're even able to get started working. See Daryl out there, yep. Big case, pulling the big disc. Once again, we're relegated to well, Sunday drivers every day of the week. Coming here through town. And people wonder why we try to avoid coming to town. Alright, let's go in here and can't. Seed. A little particular sometimes. Back out, come back in. There we go. All right. We're going to come back and drop this off at the pig farm. But it'll be relatively close for both myself and Daryl. At least for now. Alright, well, Daryl called me and said he was basically done one field and was wondering if I would be willing to top him off with seed while I had this thing hooked up and everything. So I said, sure, not a problem. If I can reach. He's going to have to fold that thing up. Alright, now that he's got her folded up, I think we're going to be able to reach. Not any issue. Thing does take a lot of seed. When it's full, I'm going to be able to turn through a whole bunch of ground pretty quick. I'll be able to get him going. Told me he had plenty of fertilizer for now. That's cool. I'll park this here, and we're going to get in the John Deere and, well, I'll meet you when we get right back down there by the shop. Tell you one thing I will be not missing is trying to get this thing, bringing this thing down into town can be quite a burden. It doesn't fold up, and she's pretty wide. These drivers down here, they don't seem to be willing to give way very much to wide implements. I'm going to drop this off here at the side door. Already made arrangements what they're going to give this for. Already paid for the new one. Ours for the taking. He's a beaut. Instead of using up all the seed, just just got. Let's go ahead and fill this guy up. Feed in fertilizer. We'll be able to get to town on field 16. Big tires on the back. It should roll through the fields pretty darn good. Give yourself some fertilizer. Gosh. If I unfold this, that'll allow me to get there. Well, sometimes you do what you got to do. It finally took. Like I was saying the other day, we play realistic-ish here on the Farmer Klein channel. We don't want to kid ourselves too much and pretend that we are something like, you know, actually farming or anything. Now that we've got this finally loaded up, we're going to be ready to actually do some farming. But isn't that the life of the farmer some days, is you just spend half the day getting ready to do something. Then you spend the other half of the day hopefully doing what you set out to start with in the morning. Meanwhile, Daryl's up there working on his second field of the day. The other Daryl's over working on, who knows, his second, third field of the day. Hey, we got pig food earlier this morning. Sold a load of milk. Came down here and got stocked up on seed. Made some cash getting ready for our eggs. And we picked ourselves up a new feeder while we were at it. I think we've had a rather productive morning already. See how well this new thing works. That was neat. Told me this 6R would be more than enough to pull it. Seemed to have been right. Even told me that the boom there, if we had the right hookups on our tractor, that would work too. But apparently this John Deere doesn't have the hydraulic hookups, the number of hookups needed to get the boom to work. So we're gonna have to be relegated to basically using auger wagons or belts or other things to get seed and fertilizer in this. If this is going to work to auto detect our working width. Got the implement plugged into our guidance steering system. Go. Looks a little wide, but okay, we'll just try that out and see how it works. That'll make turns a lot easier. Careful we don't catch this thing out with our wide tires, double wide tires. That looks to be a little bit wide. We might have to go into our steering package and adjust this back a little bit. See what it looks like on the return pass. A little heavy to get going as the tires try to spin a little bit, but okay. You need to bring that in a little bit. Let's that works. I think that's going to work out better. See how well that works. This looks like it's going to work. We'll just check on our next pass. This thing is just a little bit wider than the other seeder, but it holds so much more. We won't be stopping and filling up near as often, which is going to be a great thing. more we can keep these tractors running, the more we can get done. Might need to narrow it up just a hair more. That'll work for sure. What does the shop say? 8 meters. I don't know in the top of my head. Math is meters, feet. Because our American steering system in here is obviously measuring everything in feet. This is a Canadian cedar. Apparently they are measuring things in la metric. That was me channeling my French Canadian. By the way, la metric. That's my country French. Add la to everything, and that makes it French. La metric. Once we get this dialed in, good to go. Getting the wrong hydraulic levers. Need to be raising it up and down, but instead folding it up. Thing really does look heavy duty, that's for sure. Big old wheels in the back. Let me make some pretty quick work off of these fields. Well, it's about midday. I think I'm going to put this camera down and hunker down and focus on trying to get these fields sowed today before it's too late. Well, I say before it's too late. It doesn't matter. We can continue to feed our oats or sow our oats into winter without any issue at all. It doesn't get cold enough here on the Emerald Coast to stop us from putting seed in the ground. But the goal is to get these cereals in as early as possible. That way, hopefully get them off the fields as early as possible next summer. And if everything works out, flip all 6 of these fields for soybeans, so we can get oats and barley off of first crop, soybeans off on a second crop, and really boost our revenues for the coming year. See, have we fine-tuned our working with? Soon find out. And off we go. Okay. like we have. Alright guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of this new feeder? This is from the new DLC. If you haven't seen it already, I think it's well worth the few bucks that it costs. We're only going to use this particular one from the DLC in this series because we've got big Great Plains. Works just fine for our larger fields at 18.2 liters. And it's not that too hard to get around with. Start working with these really long heaters and air carts. I'm a bit of a burden to drive around, get around the various edges of the fields. Like I said, I think this is kind of the perfect harmony in good size working with, nice size feed and fertilize hoppers, and pretty darn good working speed to really hammer out some fields in pretty short order. So until next time, happy farming. Be sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell.